Hello, I'm Anders. This is, by my count, the fourth session, but probably actually the fifth session of Stars in the Dark, which is a reskin of Blades in the Dark. I didn't number, when I started numbering the sessions, I ignored the first one, where we mostly did character creation. But let's ignore that and just move on. Let's do quick character introductions just to remind everyone of what situation we're in, basically, because I figure everyone knows who everyone is by this point. But maybe remind us of something cool that happened last session. So we'll do this in character keeper order. So Etema is first.
I remember what happened last session. Hey, I'm Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. I'm playing Edema, the Radataki. Radataki is this alien species created for the Old Republic MMO that I like a lot. They're like, you know, hard and savage and mean, and Edema is also that. But she has a cybernetic eye, which got this cool see in the dark powers from Morn, and she's never seen the sun, not real sun. And she is the gun hand, which means that she's good at doing violence and bodyguarding. That's Hedema.
Yeah. Did you do something cool last time?
I think. I hope I'm not remembering too back. I think that we fixed her little problem with the shock boxing, and she's going to be involved in a shock boxing for the elites, like super violent stuff, like hyper violence for the elites who want to see such things, all set up by her good friend Bria.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Bria.
Rich, don't you remember like getting in the face of a giant Yeti?
Yes, we did the hit, and I fought a Gagoran face to face, and he probably would have killed me, but I kind of braved him into not killing me because we'd made a secret deal via flashback, thanks to Bria. There we go. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Kai. I use they, them pronouns. I'm playing Bria, the ex-Mandalorian. She, her pronouns. She was very suspicious of this whole job, but it turned out to be on the up and up, and had apparently been friends with one of the guys. Well, friends had a past, a history with one of the people that was protecting our target, and that came in somewhat helpful. She tried to get out, to get people to come and see what was happening, but it failed. And and it slipped out that I have a son. So
Yeah, it did. Okay, Morn.
And I'm a lurk, and I have 7 out of 9 stress, so something needs to happen.
Yes.
My name is Matt. I use they them pronouns. I am playing Morn, who is a scrounger and who has 9 out of 9 stress and is now obsessed. Morn is a Kaldor from the planet Doran. I'm thinking that he was a young refugee, maybe when Grievous attacked the planet during the Clone Wars or something. I don't know exactly, but he grew up on the streets of 1313, repairing ventilators and doing pretty innocuous tech work until he eventually started getting more curious and more adept at his craft and more useful to various crime lords, and found his way into the life of crime, and also the life of obsessive, weird tech stuff, biotech business. Last session, he set off an ion pulse, a homemade ion pulse that sort of fried his own circuits and caused him to have a force hallucination. and that's what pushed him to max trauma, and it happened relatively early in the score, which was pretty funny, but everything went okay after that regardless. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out for Morn and how his new trauma is going to affect him going forward. Fun stuff.
Well, it's gonna get him some XP, hopefully.
That's the gambit.
Yeah. And you should, I think you have 0 stress, which you should have, because after you get trauma, it resets at the end of the job. Yeah, you get 0.
Yes, I believe that I cleared it.
Cool. It looks like you have enough XP for a special ability as well.
I do. I might just go with Ion Pulse. I'm gonna figure it out while we're in downtime, but I have been poking around some other playbooks, so I will let you know shortly.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
there's no hurry.
it looks like you took your second background advice.
I did take my second background. I didn't actually mean to choose another vice because I wasn't sure about it yet, so I'm gonna leave that on choose.
Yeah. I think it's set to stupor by default because I didn't fix it when I did the thing.
No worries. It might be faith now because I've constructed my own faith, although there is some sort of greater faith there, some ancient Keldor rememberings in there or something. But yeah, I'll maybe expand the vice. But the academic background, I imagine, is probably some like just shadowing some classes and learning from the various laboratories that he's worked in from the actual students who were there. So it's kind of like secondhand academic learning, but he would always borrow their books and do all their readings, but just on the cheap.
Cool.
And probably obsessive or mildly obsessive, like learning from these strange outcast scientists and technologists of 1313, or maybe not just 1313, of the whole planet probably, but like digging into the restricted sections of libraries on experiments that should never have happened and all that sort of thing.
Excellent. Probably annoying the serious students with questions about these fringe theories and whatnot.
Yeah. Why would you possibly be studying that?
Very cool. So, like we talked about last time, this will probably be, we probably won't get into the next job during this session, which is maybe good since Mark isn't here. We're down a Mark. But we should do the fallout from the job last session, do some downtime stuff, prep for the next job, and still with all that, there should be some time left over for just doing a little bit of free play, as it's called in Blades in the Dark, and you just role play stuff. It's weird, but you can do that apparently. So first, some faction updates. Jorgo's Express Delivery, whose delivery person you hit, they have stopped doing deliveries to the Foundry, at least temporarily. Apparently, they are worried about ambushes and rising crime in the Foundry. This has caused their hold to slip to weak. And the Moon Minox, who you did the job for, they have capitalized on losing out or losing this competing drug dealer is what I'm trying to say. So they have increased their hold to strong. They're still tier 2, but they're moving up. So we should do the payoff and such, and I have looked up some stuff in advance, but let's look at the rules so I don't miss anything. You're gonna get rep and creds. Rep, you will get 4. That's 2 plus 1 per tier higher. The target is, and Jorgos is tier 2 faction, so that gives you 4 rep. I will add that to the crew sheet. That puts you at 5 total. And then you will get some creds. This was a standard job, which is 6 creds, but actually Zori Bliss is extremely happy with how well you performed, so she's tossing in an extra credit. However, you also have to pay off 1,000 knives, 1 cred, because you're operating from their turf. But you get 6 creds for the crew to split up however you want. Yeah, that's the money you get. And there's currently 2 creds in the vault, or in the stash, the vault, the crew vault. So there's only room for 2 more there. So you could put 2 there and take 1 each. That's probably the easiest way to split it. Unless you want to do it some other way.
Works for me.
2 each and 1 in the crew stash. So
Yeah.
Wow.
So 2 more there. That fills it up. At 4, it's full.
That's
I
so
will
much
add
creds.
1.
It's crazy.
I will add 1 to Boko, and you can handle. So now remember, when you increase tier, which you're fairly close to doing, that's going to cost you some cred as well.
Is it the new tier
Okay.
times 8 or something?
Yeah, I think so. Let me check.
So if we can do a full crew stash and then 1 from each of us, that would be a diplomatic way of handling our advance.
Yeah, it costs creds equal to your new tier times 8. So that's 8 creds. But that will also give each of you stash equal to the new tier plus 1. So each of you will get 2 stash. You'll pay 8, but you'll get some back as well. Effectively, you're getting 8 back, but those are kind of locked a bit. They will help your lifestyle, and you can cash them out, but then you only get half back. So it's tied down in investments. Very, very serious investments for criminals living on the street. But you know, he bought a nice sleeping bag or something to. Yeah. Anyway, that was the creds and your rep. You also get heat, and I put this at 4. That's 4 for a loud, chaotic job with high exposure. I didn't push it up to wild with devastating exposure because, I mean, there was only 1 random casualty from someone on the street and no massive explosions. But I don't think this was contained. It was, I mean, killing people right out in the street and such. But he was not high profile or well connected. It wasn't on hostile turf. You're not at war. Killing was evolved, but you have the special ability that makes that go away. However, with 4 heat, you still fill up your heat meter, which means your wanted level goes up.
Wait,
So
what?
now, yeah, you had 5 heat, and you had 5 more. Add 4 more.
That's no bueno.
It's not great. It's not the worst either. But the good news is that your heat is reduced to 0. The bad news is that your wanted level can only be reduced by someone going to prison for the things you have done. That doesn't have to be one of you. You can arrange for someone else to do it in various ways, but your wanted level will not drop in any other way, unless there's something I missed somewhere. But I think that's the general idea. That also means that you have a higher risk of bad entanglements, because now instead of rolling 2 dice, taking the lowest, we'll just be rolling 1 die straight up, since your wanted level is 1 instead of 0. We should also do some faction status adjustments, your relationship with the other factions. You're getting a +1 with the Moon Minox, because you did a job for them, you did it well. You're losing 1 with Jargos, because you did a job against them and you did it well. You're also gaining +1 with the Wilted Flowers, because just for a random reason, nobody knows. It's not at all that Bria is sparring with someone who might be a member of the Wilted Flowers. You're also losing 1 rep with the Blue Brigade. This used to be a kind of neighborhood watch militia thing that has turned more to a protection racket. And the reason for this is that Bria stabbed a guy who happened to be a member of the Blue Brigade. As you remember that was a consequence from last time, or a Devil's Bargain, I don't remember. But when you were getting out of the cantina, you had to stab a guy.
He was hot, a member of a gang, and looking for revenge. All 3, I remember.
All 3.
Yeah.
all the things.
All the things. You're also going to lose 1 status with citizens in the Foundry, because now you're out just killing people in the street, including random passersby, and that's not super popular.
Listen, they're the ones who pass by.
Yeah, don't pass by our blaster bolt.
There you go.
That's bad for you. So that's that. And then I think it's time to roll for entanglement, as this is like the one thing during regular play that the GM rolls. So I'm going to roll that. I'm going to switch to my super special dice cam. I should probably turn off the background, but it seems to be working anyway. So I'm rolling 1 die, and that's 2. And your heat is currently 0. So that's gang trouble or the usual suspect. Gang trouble is one of your gangs or other cohorts cause trouble. You don't have any of those. So I guess this is the usual suspect. Corsac grabs. Anyway, they grab a friend, vice purveyor, or other person in the periphery of your crew. You can either pay off Corsac with 1 cred, or you can make a fortune roll to see if this person resists questioning. Let's see. And this is a different one from when you got the one you got. You get a similar one previously where they picked up your contact Lydra. This is someone who's more who's less central to your crew. I think they're going to pick up the Beast actually, because Etema was very visible during this job, and she's been out on the town with the Beast. I think you went to a bar in Emerald Row. I think that was with the Beast.
Yeah, Beast and I are buddies.
Yeah, and apparently someone's picked up on that. So
And those
now
people
she's
with their good detecting.
Yeah, really. She's pretty tough. So if you let this go to a fortune roll, I think 3 dice is appropriate. So it's either a fortune roll with 3 dice, where high is good On a 1 to 3, you get +2 heat because she talks. On a 4 or 5, she takes level 2 harm because they beat her up because she won't talk. On a 6, nothing happens. Or you can spend 1 cred to bail her out.
Well, Rich really wants to see how this goes. Edema would fret, but she also probably wouldn't. So checking in, Kai, Matt, what do you guys think? Because this blows back on you. So what are your preferences?
I'm cool to get in a little trouble. And also we don't have to explicitly say that it's like totally up to Edema if she spends it or not. Like maybe we don't find out in the fiction and we decide as players what we want to do.
Sure. Yeah. I appreciate that. That is a nice way to look at it. So the Edema isn't holding out on her friend, because I don't love that, but I the player like the idea of that risk.
Mhm.
Kai, what are your thoughts?
Rolling.
Yeah, because maybe you don't find out until she gets out. That
Or
would
maybe
be a
someone
reason
finds
for
out
you
and doesn't
to not
tell us.
fail. So you're gonna take the role?
You want me to make the roll, or are you gonna make the roll?
I'll make the role.
All right. Wait, it's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Yeah, exactly. I'm relieving you of all guilt.
Oh, you got to make the roll with that second cam.
Yeah, that's
3, 4, and what's the third die? I don't see it. It's
yeah.
up
I'm
top.
trying to get
Go the opposite way.
to move this thing in the right direction.
Oh, got a little more. I see something. I see part of it.
I think it's a 2.
I think it's a 2.
It's so weird. I don't know. I just moved the dice.
Here, you can move the die. There we go. Low tech solution for high tech. Cool.
So a 4. So the
That's not
beast
great.
doesn't talk. She doesn't talk to the cops. But they know she knows something, and she probably gives them a bit of lip. So they beat her up. I think probably you meet up for a training session, and she's battered. Level 2 harm is pretty bad. She's been bashed around, and not just in the ring. This is something else.
Do you mind if we drop into scene, or I can save that for later? Edema didn't know this happened. The hell happened?
Damn street sec, always hassling people.
Okay. You want to go see Sawtooth?
Yeah, that might not be such a bad idea, actually. And you can see she winces. She's got some bandages, but she's not been professionally looked after, it looks like.
Makes sense, yeah.
It's
Who did this
just,
to you? I can go. I can do something about it. They can't do that to my friend.
Yeah, that would be good. They said you were involved in something, and they thought I knew something about it, but I didn't know anything. So I didn't tell them anything. They didn't like that.
Okay, let's get you to Sawtooth. I'll take care of it.
You sure you want to go there?
I mean, he hates me. He's not gonna hate you. You're lovable and sweet and stuff.
Yeah. Lovable like a shock glove to the solar plexus.
I do like that love.
Yeah, okay. And you have to kind of support her when she gets up. She's probably got a couple of cracked ribs, and she's not in great shape.
That sucks. What's the name? What's their name? The one who did this to you? Who is it? What's their name?
I don't know. They were in uniforms. They didn't tell me their names.
All right.
Cops, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get her to Sawtooth. I may like just kind of hang back. Not that Sawtooth can't look on the cams or something and see that I'm there. But I'll drop a cred at this point to if that's what Sawtooth charges us.
Yeah, I think he's gonna want some payment, and the beast doesn't have a lot. So if you want to pay for that, then she'll get good care.
I'll do it. And
Cool.
did we all agree on the paying a cred to do the upgrade? I'm all for it, but I wasn't sure if we got confirmation everybody was doing that.
What's the upgrade?
The upgrade, like we were going to go up a tier. We were paying.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, we're
Sorry.
doing that later.
I think we need
Cool.
more.
Yeah. You don't have the rep yet.
Oh, sorry.
You might have after the next job or the job after that, but not right now.
Okay, cool. I've just marked off a cred. I'm down to 2 cred.
Cool. I just make a quick note here. I remember.
What was that 1 cred for? Because we didn't pay them off, right?
We did not pay them
Etema-
off yet.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say we did not pay them off. Edema's paying cred to Sawtooth to get the beast fixed.
Okay, cool. I did not realize that your rival was a medic, and I think it's very interesting tension. Morn does have the medic special ability.
Oh, snap. Maybe I should just
Oh,
go to
right.
you. I'm so
But
dumb.
No, it's okay. I didn't want to get I think that's a really cool thing. It's part of your whole fight crew thing. And I'm not exactly tied to the medic special ability either. I haven't really used it. So I don't know.
This could be a good opportunity. On the other hand, to get that in, we can pay that back and go to Morn instead.
Just if it's going to cost you creds, maybe you have it out with Sawtooth when you get there.
Oh, love it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you, Matt. That's
You want an
fantastic.
entire cred? You really? Like that's what
Just a little hurt.
This will. Oh, now I got to use the.
Yeah, come on, Sawtooth. Get lippy with me.
This will require extensive care. I cannot do this without payment.
You know what? But that's fine. That's fine. We'll be back later. Come on, Beast. I'll get you taken care of. I know a guy.
Are you sure? I mean, I can sell some stuff.
No. I know. Like step out to the alleyway, pick up a comm unit, reach out to Morn.
What is it you need of me?
Hey, Morn. It's Edema. The SecSec picked up one of my friends and tried to get some info on us. She held her tongue and they decided to beat her for it. Sawtooth's trying to needle us for you wouldn't even believe.
Sawtooth is a fool and a charlatan.
Yeah, Sawtooth is a fool and a charlatan. Can you? I mean, you did that thing with my eye. Can you help me out?
Yes, I will.
You are still within my auditory range. Please.
Yeah, you still
distance
suck.
yourselves.
Is that Sawtooth in the background?
Yes, Sawtooth in the background, eavesdropping. I'm in the alley.
Telling me scrap if I ever see him again.
You're scrap if Morn ever sees you again. And I'm going to Morn to get my friend fixed.
Please go now.
Okay. He's probably going to call sex actor. Let's go.
Another reason he's a coward. Come to me.
Of course. And yeah, definitely go let Morn do the doctrine. That's awesome.
Excellent. So I don't think this costs. No, it doesn't cost downtime action to take care of other people. It takes a downtime action to be healed, but it doesn't take a downtime action to care for people who are being healed. So this isn't really a. I mean, game mechanically, this is at a cost for more. But of course, in the fiction, it takes some time and so on.
Is it like a free action roll or fortune roll to see how it goes, or are we just kind of not worried about the stakes there?
I'll take care of that. I'll make a roll for her for next section. So we'll see where she's at.
Cool. I of course have to offer if she wants any upgrades. I have some refurbished parts if she's looking for anything while she's under my treatment.
Shock boxing and implants, they don't really mix. There's a whole lot of voltage going through my body all times a day. It's not. It's risky.
Oh, but I have means of working.
Morn immediately goes into like a long rant about this new tech he's been working on with shock resistant modifications and stuff.
Yeah, until I get some kind of organ failure or something, or need to replace a hand, I think I'm good with just the meds and so on.
That's fine. That's fine.
Morn's a little disappointed.
Yeah, but hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for taking care of me. I mean, I could have gone to Sawtooth, but it's pricey getting good care.
You have fine muscles and tendons. It has been a joy.
Thank you, I guess.
I've learned much today.
Oh, maybe I should be charging you then.
Let's not overstep here. Cool.
Yeah, cool. So that was the entanglement. And I think that means we're done with the fallout from the last job. So we're moving into downtime, and we have room for free play, like I said. You can also start thinking about your next job. I'm going to tell you which ones are on offer, but I think I know which one you're going to pick because it's the one you've been most interested in before. And that's the Force artifact that is on the loose somewhere. There are several factions who want this one. What you've picked up from word on the street and from the various people who have talked about this job, it's a powerful Force artifact. Everyone agrees on that. Whether that's true or not, maybe not, but they seem to think it's connected to some power outs or power fluctuations that have been hitting the foundry lately. There's been some issues with power going out, and they seem to think that it's connected to that. Nobody seems to know who has it or exactly where it is, but it's somewhere in the foundry. Maybe they're moving it around because these power fluctuations are happening in different places. Maybe the power fluctuations are just random. That's the sort of thing that happens from time to time. But there's at least 4 factions who are after this. It's Hera the Witch, who is a gang leader with rumored to have mystical powers. The Dark Lord's faithful, the Vader fanboys, basically.
Fuck
They
those
want
guys.
it. Veldren, Morn's rival, is also.
Fuck that guy.
And also, you've also gotten word that the Rebel Alliance, the proper rebels, they also want it. And they kind of they tend to take a dim look to powerful force stuff being out and about. So they don't like that.
No vision.
They're not paying as much as the other ones, though. There's also some rumors that Black Sun is after it, but they're not offering to hire anyone around here anyway. So there's that. So that's one job. You have several different people you could do that job for. You could try doing it for yourselves in some way. We'd have to figure out exactly how that would work. We tried grabbing it and selling it to the highest bidder or something, though that's risky with so many others after it.
I might be the highest bidder.
Yeah, maybe just bid for it. Yeah, sorry. So that's one job. Freeze mob, your contact or your most direct contact in the Thousand Knives. He still has something he wants your help with. He's kind of cagey about it. He doesn't want to tell you until you commit to doing it. Oh, sorry, I should say these all the offers for the artifact are like 4, 6, 7 credits. 4 is the Rebel Alliance. They're like, you're doing it for the cause. We don't need to pay you as much, even if they're not using those exact words. Freeze Mob, he's also willing to pay you 6 to help with his issue. And then there's Lydra puts you in touch with someone. Maybe we should play that out, actually. Let's do that. Lydra contacts, I think she contacts Bria. I think you're the one she's had the most direct contact with. The one who seems most reliable of the crew, I think. That's just her impression. I mean, Etma's obviously a loose cannon. Morn is super weird. Boko is an ex-cop who knows how ex-cop he is. So, comparatively speaking.
There's a certain amount of respect that even Mandalorian might engender in someone. Okay.
Hmm?
All right. So Lyra contacts me. What does that look like? Does she like tell me to come meet her, or
Yeah, I think she sends like a street kid, some urchin, who comes with a message and just tells you, where do you usually hang out? Do you just hang out in your headquarters, or do you have some other place? Do you just go between there and home, or is there like a bar or something in the neighborhood where you like to spend some time?
Yeah, I think she'd find me at a bar, or the kid would find me at a bar.
Yeah.
It's actually there's a restaurant that I really enjoy called the Inverted Fork, and the staff there know me very well. I've got some notes on them because I can't remember off the top of my head what I said about them. So give me a second. Unless you've got them up, Rich, because I know you've got them as well.
Looking.
Yeah, I think I found it. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. It's a Gluten restaurant where you get the true Gluten dishes and not the stuff that's made for humans on the upper levels. And I'm friends with the staff there, so I just kind of hang out there. I don't have any idea what a Gluten would eat that other people wouldn't, but you know, I was just imagining an analog to to like an authentic Chinese restaurant in a Chinatown location, as opposed to a, you know, westernized one. So that's what I'm trying to play off of.
Cool. Yeah, and so this kid shows up, just runs into the restaurant, tells you Nigel wants to see you, and runs out again before anyone can stop them.
Okay. All right. I finish up what I was eating, and you put your fork down in the wrong direction, the inverted fork, and they know you're done eating. So I dropped some what do you call them? What is like pocket coin called in Star Wars? What have we been using for that?
Oh,
I don't know.
just credits. I mean, there is calamari flan, but I think that's kind of just the silly thing that maybe.
Because in my mind there's credits and cred, and I didn't know if there was something else we were calling it. So all right, so I dropped some credits and head on out. So where did she ask me to go meet her?
When she just asked you to come see her, it's always at the laundry.
Oh, right, the laundry.
Yeah, the back room of the laundry place.
Got it.
I think we had a name for it.
Rafa's Laundry.
Rafa's Laundry. Yeah.
Okay, so I head to Rafa's. I've actually got some laundry. I'll put them in the wash.
Yeah, and the droid there behind the back door lets you in. And Lydra is there in the back room with the smell hits you before, just when you open the back door, you can smell sewer basically.
Okay.
And you get in there, and there's a very dirty, very old looking man there, human probably.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to tell. He's got a lot of protective gear, not like a full mask or anything, but he's got like a breather and goggles and probably some kind of small oxygen tank like over one shoulder. Yeah, and you can tell this is a tunnel rat. He's one of the people who live down in the sub level, the sewers basically, sewers and maintenance tunnels.
Okay.
And Lydra introduces you. This is Bria, or actually she says this is Beskar, one of my associates, and this gentleman is Borok. I'll put that in the chat.
Bork, got it.
And he has a proposition for you, a quite lucrative one. Yes. We have big problem. Stormtroopers come, kill many of my people. We cannot fight them. They are too skilled warriors for us. We can ambush, but they have sensors and powerful weapons. we need you to kill them for us, to keep us safe. We have saved many valuables. And he basically pours out, he picks up like a metal box, and he opens it, and it's filled with, it's not junk, but it's jewelry and like small pieces of tech, and it all seems to be, he allows you to check it out. Everything seems to be, it's valuables basically. It's not cash, but it's definitely stuff. It's easy to move, and that and if it's the same quality, all of it, and it seems to be, then this is a big payoff. This is like 9-10 creds.
So Bria was on board like rather easily. So she looks through the stuff and starts doing the mental math, and she just looks up and she's like, tell me more. Look at very inviting. Tell me more. Like, I want all the details.
Yeah. Let's not do all of that in character, because
Oh,
my
of course
voice
not.
will,
Yeah.
get
No, that's
screwed
fine.
up.
Yeah. I just, that's how she responds.
Yeah. Basically, there's something going on. There's always conflict between the tunnel rats and the various imperial authorities, because the tunnel rats, they tend to steal wires and reroute air supply and water supply and that sort of thing, siphon off stuff to survive. And the Imperials, or the people who maintain the sewers and such for everyone else, they think that everyone else should have that stuff. So there's always like low-grade conflict, but usually the tunnel rats don't cause enough trouble that anyone seriously tries to push them out. They go in, they repair. If there's a fight, there's a fight. But this seems to be a concerted push to get them out of the area close to the area of the foundry close to Sexec. So this is fairly close to where you are located.
Right.
And there's usually stormtroopers don't get involved in this sort of stuff. This is like security forces from what are they called? The Office of Public Works. They're the ones who have to handle this. But apparently this is something more serious, because if they're sending in stormtroopers, then there's actual fighting.
Right.
And all Borok knows is that they're coming in from the tunnels under Sexec, and there's very few tunnel rats who live under Sexec, because they get stomped hard if they try to live there. There's a lot of monitors and sensors and actual patrols even sometimes down in the tunnels. But under the foundry, they can usually just hide in some tunnels that are used by, or used to be used by, abandoned factories or the like. But this is a concerted effort to push them out. And this particular group of tunnel rats, they've settled in. If they have to move, they have to abandon their homes basically, and they've lived there for at least a generation or so. So this is a big problem for them.
Okay. Is this the kind of thing where I would need to say yes or no right now? Or is this one of those things where I could be like, oh, we'll go back to the crew and we'll discuss it?
Oh, absolutely. You can discuss it with the crew. No problem. This is not, I mean, it's not like they need your assistance today or tomorrow. But if you can't commit within a couple of days, they're going to look for someone else. Lydra turned to you first because she's seen that you're good at doing violence, and you're willing to go up against Imperials, and not every crew wants to do that. She thought you might be a good fit. It's dangerous going up against stormtroopers. They're not people you get around with, but she figured for this kind of money you might be interested.
Okay. Yeah. I shake Borok's hand. And like, I think I'd like that to be a message. Like, I imagine these people are kind of like that caste in India that people won't touch or interact with or whatever. So I'm willing to put, glove to glove, skin to skin, whatever it happens to be, with the guy, and let him know that we'll seriously consider it.
Yeah, he's got big protective gloves on, like thick rubber gloves. But he shakes your hand, he looks you in the eye, and I know this is not a promise, but we will await your answer.
I'll guarantee you that we'll get back to you one way or the other soon, so that you can do what you need to do.
I thank you, Beskar of the Hidden Daggers.
Well, I am going to go discuss this with my crew. I will maybe see you later.
Yeah. You just have to wait a bit outside until your laundry is done. So.
Right. Yep. Yeah. All right. So I hang out at the laundry for a while. I imagine maybe it's the crew's laundry, right? Like they know that like we need to go by there pretty soon, and like it's really close to where I was. So it's always good to go and check it on Ledger when it's not about business, et cetera, et cetera. So, images of Bria just looking at ratty clothing and stuff like that, like, oh.
Look up Morin's bloodstained smock.
Right, exactly. And
I can see more going, that's not my blood.
Oh boy. Yeah. I just throw it all in and throw a bunch of bleach in it. I'm kidding.
God, see it now. Adam is like, wait, all my stuff was dark and gray, and now it's off-white.
Eggshell. It's called eggshell.
I'm eggshell.
Okay, cool. That was a fun scene.
That was dope.
You hit a
That
break
is
time?
tough. I know where Morn wants to go, but Edema wants to kill some fucking troopers.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't say no.
that is hot. Edema would say, I respect the Force artifact. That is good, but 9 creds and killing some stormtroopers sounds like my kind of thing. I'm very eager to help out these tunnel rats.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, the Imperial garrison where the stormtroopers come from is tier 5, just so that you're aware. But yeah.
We're going to get destroyed. This is awesome.
Did you mean
Cool.
tier 0.5?
No.
Okay.
God, tier 5 is
You're actually, no, sorry, I was about to say they're 5.5 because they have stronghold, but they actually have weak hold. So sorry.
Okay. 5.0. Got it. Got it. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. So let's start looking. Actually, let's take a break. Let's take. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so it seems you're interested in going after some stormtroopers. We have some downtime actions to do or downtime activities, to be very specific about the game terminology. And you can do some information gathering and such to find out more about the job. Yeah. Does anyone have something they want to start with?
We want to just chat at the hideout.
Sorry?
Do we want to just like talk at the hideout, like between our, just have a
Yeah,
quick
yeah,
scene
yeah.
between our characters?
Yeah,
of like,
cool. Or do you
Nice.
just, I mean, when you meet up, do you always meet up at the hideout? Or do you have some other place you like to meet? Or is that like where, I mean, you have since you have your bunks there, I guess you live there for most of the time, since Bria has some sort of apartment, but rest of you, I mean, everyone is on the lowest lifestyle tier, which is basically living on the street.
I'm curious about the hideout. I would like to just get to know it a little better.
Yeah, cool. Let's do that. So I figure by now you've probably established like your own separate little corners or rooms or areas. Sorry?
Oh, yeah. Never mind. I'll shut up. Please go.
No. Yeah. So Morn, what does your place look like? Your part of the hideout.
I think Morn establishes a workshop everywhere he spends enough time. And here it's like specifically gang related stuff for the daggers. So his corner is full of junk that we've acquired, and he has a chair for like the medical stuff that we do in the hideout. He's got a lot of things that make like whirring sounds and winking lights, and every once in a while there's like a rodent in there skittering around that he's either keeping as a pet or is going to do some work on or something. So it's kind of alive in a variety of different ways. Sometimes strange smells and sounds come from his corner, but he tries to keep it clean, tidy for the gang. I know this is a shared space, so I know, I'm trying to keep it respectful. And then his actual workshop is an absolute disaster. But yeah, that's what Morn's zone looks like.
Cool. So how about Bria?
So I had this picture in my mind, and I don't know if everybody's going to get the reference, but at the very beginning of Terminator 2, Sarah Connor's like rearranged her room to be like jacked up and like working out, that kind of stuff. So that's how I imagine like we get a bonus on prowess, right? For I imagine
both prowess and insight, actually.
Yeah. So I imagine there's like these pull-up bars and all this kind of stuff, but she maintains that area, and then she just has a hammock she has hung up, and if she needs to sleep, she'll sleep on that. It's got covers for when it's cold, which I imagine we have problems maintaining heat, and like we can't just, the AC is not to royal standard or noble standards, but I manage. And then I have like a lockbox what do you call it? In barracks, they've got their own little box or whatever.
Oh, a Foot Locker kind of deal.
Yeah, Foot Locker. Yeah, so I was trying to get at. So she has like a Foot Locker, and she keeps some stuff in there.
Mhm.
But it's pretty Spartan.
Cool.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a place to sleep, pretty much.
Yeah. So when you're staying over here, do you have like a nice neighbor who looks in on your son, or
Well, what I had written up before is that there was this nanny droid, but
yeah,
I like
right. That's true. That's true.
but I like the idea that there's a neighbor that might come and get in contact with me if something's going wrong, or might be picked up by people if something is really wrong. So, yeah, I've never seen an elderly Twi'lek. So let's say it's an elderly Twi'lek that lives in the building. And we've become friends. Let's look up a name on the species helper for a Twi'lek. Baktala. BOC. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah. So,
Excellent.
Grandma Twi'lek Baktala.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. So because I mean, I assume that the nanny droid can handle most things, but occasionally there's going to be an emergency, or or you yeah. So cool.
Yeah, it's just a bit of humanity. Well, sort of a bit of flesh and blood contact.
Yeah.
Maybe-
So Ettima, what does your area in the lair look like?
I imagine that Edema's the elevator pitch of Edema's room is basically a teenager's disaster area. This is the first place in Edema's life, second place. It's the second place in Edema's life that she's been able to call her own. And the first place was technically paid for by her boss / lover. So she didn't want to personalize it too much because she was afraid she'd mess it up. So here she's gone all out. There's a rebel alliance, like the Starbird, the Rebel Alliance painted on one wall, to the kind of thing like she made a frame for it and then just spray painted over it. So it's got those like lines of paint where it's just run down in different parts. There's all kinds of clothes on the floor from all the different outfits that she has bought over the time. Although whenever she's on a job, she almost dresses always like that because that's what works with her armor. But she has all kinds of outfits that just some of them are molded and she's not entirely aware, but there's a weird smell in the room. So she covers it with incense. And there's a bunch of just knickknacks and food boxes and like empty bottles of cheap synth alcohol, and probably a tattoo gun that doesn't work anymore. And she knows that Morn will fix it, but she just hasn't bothered to fix it yet. And her bed she's real proud of. It's like a thing that she built, but it's not that great. Like she got tired of the instructions and kind of made it work the rest of the way. So it's mostly a few stacked mattresses. It's really a mess. Like this is not a room she brings people back to. If she's willing to entertain company, it's either at their place or some other place. The one place
this is your hidden secret hideout. You shouldn't bring people here.
exactly, that's her logic. The one place in her domicile, and I'm imagining is like a suite, so it's got a bathroom with a stand-up, I guess like a sonic shower, that's probably on the fritz, and a void tube. That's what they call the toilet in Mandalorian. So I try to remember that term for the toilets. The one area of her room that's nice is that she has a very, very small work table with her gun cleaning kit. And then she's got this rack where she's put her weapons and like a little pegboard where she puts her blades. And that's all like this beautiful little shrine to the implements and instruments of death that she's collected over time.
Oh my God, this is such such a terrible insight into her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah. I
Morn
guess,
is
yeah,
sorry,
go ahead.
Anders, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Morn is cooking breakfast on the same burner that he uses for his chemical workings, and like above the burner he's got all these like shelves full of like various bubbling jars and syringes and like the most unsanitary cooking conditions of all time. And he I don't know if the two of you are waking up or have been awake for some time now, but he's like got his like his like chef's smock on as opposed to his chemist smock, which is basically the same thing, but it's
Reversible.
yeah, it's reversible. And he's humming away. And
I found this granite slug out last night, and it was just begging to be cooked. So breakfast is served.
Edema is probably walking in, wiping a bit of drool off the side of her face and putting her cybernetic eye back in, because she usually takes it out of the housing when she remembers. Kind of like the person who forgot to take out their contacts. But she's learned that you don't sleep with the cybernetic eye in, because then just not good. So she's like slowly trying to push it back in. A granite slug? What even is that?
You know, those big worm-looking things that are always chewing through the stone in the city. Not
You're
quite
cooking
a ferrocrete.
something that eats Duracrete?
Well, no, it doesn't actually eat Duracrete. You see, there's also Duracrete slugs. This is just a granite slug, so I think it's more edible than the ferrocrete variety. And just look at it. It's so succulent.
I can't tell if it smells bad because it's a granite slug or because you're using the same burner as you use for your stuff. I'll try it.
I bought seasonings.
Okay. Hot sauce, man.
Bria, breakfast.
So she's putting her hair up in a ponytail as she walks up. And what part of this is breakfast?
The slug. You know, it's right here on a plate.
I've got it. I'll try it. And if it's bad, I'll let you know, Bree.
Please do.
I'm going to eat some granite slug. Was it sauteed? Was it fried? Was it boiled?
it's fried slug. It's very
Fried slug.
fatty, but it's
Probably like an unbreaded calamari kind of deal.
yeah, with like probably a gritty after texture.
Yeah, I would imagine something that eats granite.
And,
You could choose on it.
And while you're putting it into your mouth, Morn is saying like, you know, food is really a subjective idea. You know, there are so many things that people, you know, Coruscant is just a melting pot of different people and cultures. Everyone has different things that they call food, you know, so it just takes an open mind to be able to appreciate something like this.
Reaches for, I guess, some blue milk and like washes it down. Did you get all the granite out of it, Morn?
Well, you can't really get the granite out of it.
Yeah, Bria, maybe hold off. I've got some leftover Mantel mix. You want some? Drink some more milk.
Oh
Is this milk still good?
no.
Oh, for
No.
Kark's sake.
I think I'm gonna
We're-
be sick now.
I'm treating us. We're going out. We're going out to eat. We're going out to a restaurant to eat.
If you're not gonna finish the granite slug,
No.
may I?
She shoves the plate your way.
He pulls his ventilator mask off and reveals his like horrifying looking mouth with like these like the Keldor mouth is a little spooky, and he
It
just
is.
like there's one big like chomp on half the slug.
The Keldor kind of remind me of like the Predator in a way, which is cool.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they got that look about them.
All right. Where did you want to go, Bria?
I'm gonna. I'll be right back. And she staggers, and then you hear her horking like, "Wah, wah," then a little bit of water from the sink, and then she comes back.
You shouldn't have drank that milk.
I know, it was totally the milk.
All right, we got business to talk, so we better get moving.
Are you taking us to the fork?
No, I'm taking us to the Intergalactic House of Pancakes, or its equivalent in Star Wars. A breakfast food. 24-hour, how many hours are there in Coruscant? Some hours, every hour.
What, 26 hours a day? Something like
26
that.
hours a day, open breakfast restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a weird thing because, you know, you're 4,000 levels from the surface. There's no sun here, hasn't been for thousands of years. All light is artificial. I imagine that you know, what's morning and not is kind of it could really like change from one block to the next because
Okay.
we skipped a shift 2 years ago or something. But you know, I think it makes everything easier for us if we keep referring to things as morning and evening and such. So I will probably do it. I'm not going to put in an effort to make this seem realistic, this weird underground city thing in that way. But it's just keeping something to keep in mind that all the light is artificial. There's no natural light here, except for maybe, you know, a little bit when you're very close to the shaft. But otherwise, it's all artificial light, and since light costs money, that means in the poorer neighborhoods, it's going to be dark a lot of the time, and that sort of thing.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
there will definitely be some place where you can eat breakfast any time of day.
Yes, that would. Yes.
So we got a booth.
Yeah, we are at IHOP in a booth. The Hidden Daggers.
So is this a place that's in the same neighborhood, or is it like in a nicer part of the foundry, or where do you go to?
Look. We'll take a look at our stuff.
Because as I recall, you're pretty close. You're you're situated pretty close to Sextech, but you probably don't want to go too far in that direction and get a bunch of cops at your breakfast place.
Yeah, no, I don't want to deal with cops.
I think Boko's
I just
not
want to
gonna
eat
help
around
us
regular
decide.
people. According
Um,
to Wikipedia, pancakes are known as flat cakes, so it's high IHOF, which it has to be canon now.
Yeah.
It. I'm looking at our map here. I think it's the border of the Foundry and Bright Market.
Mhm.
So maybe we walk past some of the hubbub in the foundry, or drive, however we get there.
Yeah.
I totally see that walking. Yeah, that works for me.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, while you're on your way there, you see first you see a street sec, like what would, yeah, a kind of an APC, you know, an armored transport sort of thing. But it's got like a gun, not a turret, but a gunner position up top, an open one. And you usually don't see these out in the streets. But apparently there's something special here. You see one of those hover past, I guess you'd say. And then when you get closer to IHOF, where you're going, there's actually a squad of stormtroopers marching by, like 10 of them. And they're in their usual, you know, very regimented style, but they're looking around, they're stopping some citizens, asking them questions, that sort of thing. And you never see stormtroopers in the Foundry. That never happened.
Do they seem to be like kind of attached to like the vehicle that brought them there, or are they maybe like they've commandeered a building or something like that? Is there like a base of operations for these guys, or are they just seeming to be roaming the streets?
It seems like it's a heavily reinforced street patrol. Like when the stormtroopers slow down because they've stopped someone to question them, then the vehicle slows down as well and stops to wait for them to catch up. And it seems the vehicle is marked with the street sec logos and such. So it's probably not their vehicle, but it seems it's like a joint operation or joint patrol or something.
It's a two-headed rancor if I've ever seen one. Gonna need an army to fight those fuckers.
Sorry, I keep cursing in English.
It's fine.
There's it's on the species helper. Scroll down.
Kark is the most common translation, I think.
Hoodoo. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Tank Ferric.
But they're not stopping you. I mean, you spot them some ways away, so you can like wait until they're past, but you do see them. They're not. If you started getting closer, maybe they would bother you, but they're not doing that right now.
Unless anyone wants to gather info or anything, maybe we just arrive and get to chatting.
Mhm.
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm mad. It's a bunch of troopers, but it's not going to ruin breakfast.
Yep. So cut to big, huge tray of flat cakes coming up to our table.
Mhm.
I guess we got the
And-
means for this living.
And then Adam was like, "And are you gonna need anything? Because this is sorry, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Rich."
I forgive you.
So yeah, we need to eat healthy once in a while. To keep
Edema
Things going.
nods as she's pouring more syrup onto the flat cake. Right. Right.
but I got like a plate of meats and eggs. So that's what I'm here for.
So I imagine, since this is like near Bright Market, I imagine this is a slightly more upscale place. It's not like a workers cafe sort of thing. This is more like maybe, actually, I don't know IHOP. So maybe
Yeah,
if you're
right.
modeling it after that, then you know it far better than I do.
The key point is that the wait staff come around every so often instead of just staring at you from the from the kitchen. They'll actually come and ask and like fill up your water or whatever.
Yeah, I imagine the clientele here is maybe like some low-level managers from the factories and some like shop workers from Bright Market, that sort of people. You know, they're not rich. This isn't the fancy people, but it's not like the factory workers don't go here.
So Lauren, out of character, you're probably wanting to do the force object mission, right?
I mean, yeah. Morn is definitely interested. We can chat a little about that if you like.
Yes, I want to have like a conversation about, like, she's basically like, so we want to do the job for Borak, but pitch me this other job you found out about, like sell me on it.
Have you filled us in about the Borak situation?
Oh, I thought I had.
Yeah, I think we did that. Like, yeah. If not, I'm cool with aligning the details and stating it that you pitch it here. But I kind of like Edema knowing, because I was so excited about the possibility.
Yeah, I think we would have known about it before we saw the sword troopers, because I think that was important to me in my mind that we already know about it.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I turned to Morn. Tell me more about this other job.
Well, I'm all for offing Slimos, but this is something big. Whatever this thing is causing disruptions. Blocks have been going out at a time. I'm going to look into it further, but I know that whatever this is, it's got a lot of power, and there's a lot of things we could do with a lot of power. One of those things being taking out an army of stormtroopers, which we are not currently equipped to do. There are several
pitch.
factions interested. That shows us that whatever this is significant. I don't know much about Hera yet. I'm going to look into her. We know all we need to know about those Vader fanboy carpets. And we know we're not giving them whatever it is. Edema, I know you're for the Alliance, and you know I am too. But we got priorities sometimes. Sometimes that means creds. Sometimes that means a mysterious force artifact with powers beyond our comprehension.
I mean, the Alliance wants it. That's important, but for cred, we barely cover our nut.
Can't even afford the pancake or the flat cake lifestyle on full cred.
This is all you can eat, right? Right, Priya?
Sure.
You know what's all you can eat? Granite worms.
Morn, are you suggesting that we acquire this artifact and then borrow it before we turn it in? Is that what you're saying?
I'm suggesting that we appraise it, study it, just so that we know what we're handing off and so that we know what we could be capable of if we keep it for ourselves.
So you're willing to double cross whoever we do this for?
Well, the thing is, we don't have to make any promises at the outset. We know the buyers, we know what they're willing to pay for it, but we don't have to go to them and promise anything before we go after it ourselves. We can retrieve it, assess it, and then sell it if we want to, or make a giant bomb if we want to.
What you said, Morn, about grabbing the artifact, using it on the troopers to level the playing field, I'm into that.
The way I see it is, it's the four of us against the world. And we've definitely got some power, but we've definitely got a long way to go.
Yeah.
I have a long way to go before completion. And I look off into the distance.
Where are you leaning, Bria?
Morn, are you saying that we have enough information to find this thing without linking up with one of these payers? I mean, haven't they already done the research and they know exactly where it's been and all that kind of stuff? Do you think we can just find it without their help, without their information?
We have some work to do. We can look into Harrow the Witch. I'm not against a double cross, but you know, we have ways of acquiring information. All I'm saying is that if you want to wake up tomorrow and go toe to toe with those stormtroopers we just walked past, I don't know if I want to be there.
You okay here? You want some more flat cakes?
Yeah. Some more. It's all you can eat, right?
Can you bring like 3 more things of syrup?
Sure.
One's just drinking syrup.
Even Edema makes a face at that. That's a bit much. He's extreme.
This is like the Star Wars version of that role playing game 10.
Love that game.
Tyner.
God, I gotta run that in Star Wars now. Dang it.
Here you go.
Efficient.
No,
Piling up more flat cakes and struggling to carry 3 jugs of syrup.
thank you. Oh, yeah, that's great. There is freeze mob. I mean, what we need is resources. If we can if we can hire some guns for this trooper job, it might be something we could pull off. But all I'm saying is that I know that that thing is calling out to me, and I know I could do something big with it. We need big.
Okay, Morn. You've got my trust. We'll start with this artifact. Out of character, I realize I just acted like I'm the leader of this group. I don't even know if that's like the truth or not.
No, that's cool. I love that. How
Anima falls right in line. Like she checked in with Bria. Like that's how Anima is oriented anyway, vis-a-vis this grouping.
I think Boko will agree. All right. We've got some information to find then.
And
Ooh.
And
while
then-
we're doing our downtimes, we can start prepping for the stormtrooper job, even though we're going to look for the force artifacts.
true.
Like we just might need
Absolutely.
more time to acquire assets and to do all the stuff we need to do. Because I just feel
Mhm.
like, what are they, tier 5, 6?
Yeah,
5.
it's a lot.
Yeah, and you don't know who you're going up against when you're trying to get the force artifact because you don't know who's holding it. And I think one way to do this is that you could take the force artifact job. You could take it legitimately, say we're going to do this job for you. You could keep the artifact for a couple of days, do the stormtrooper job, and then get paid for the artifact job if that's a way you want to do it. I think that structure would work, but that depends on what you want to do with the artifact. Then, of course, if you want to keep it, then we're in a different situation. Or if you want to try to sell it to someone else, then that can get interesting.
Yeah, I like the complications, and I'm not. I'm also not beyond double crossing somebody. Like I don't want to do it all the time, but if it makes more sense for us to keep it or whatever, then we'll damn well keep it.
Just imagining the weapons I could make for Edema if we get that thing.
Terrifying.
Yeah, so we got about an hour left of play, so I think we should start getting into the actual mechanical bits of the.
But
the
before we do, Anima has a brief like, okay,
Yeah.
it seems like we know what we're doing. I just wanted to run it by you guys. Wow, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to find out which sec beat on the beast and then murder him. So just so you know.
Yeah, that tracks.
Okay.
Talk to Boko. He probably knows who it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that might be one of his buddies, so he might get a little sore about that.
I think he's loyal to us. I think he's with us. I have my suspicions, but
I just like to razz him. Really, I know he's with us, but like, some things you can't give up.
oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, now we can do downtown. But Edima's definitely gonna like say, hey, by the way, I've got to murder this person just so you know. Don't want you to feel like I went off without checking in.
That's the Edema I know.
Excellent. I was trying to figure out how to handle Boko if we just skip his downtime actions since he's not here now, or if we do those quickly next session.
I'd say do them quickly next session. Like we open the session
Yeah.
and let Mark knock those out. It won't take that long if it's just one person doing downtime.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, let's do it that way. That was just me.
No, I appreciate you musing out loud. I do not have a problem whatsoever carving into next session to let him have the downtime.
Cool. Okay, so you're kind of prepping for 2 jobs here. You can do gather information on either of them. You can do downtime activities related to either of them. You may want actually you don't need to reduce your heat, right? Because that's back to 0. You maybe should have done that last time, but that's a bit too late now.
Wishes were horses.
Yep. Oh, actually, one more thing that I wanted to mention. Maybe not right now, but maybe after these 2 jobs, you may want to start thinking about grabbing some claims for the crew. And these are the things, the turf and such that's on the crew sheet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, turf helps you build up your rep. Every piece of, and these are, turf is one type of claim you can have. It's basically an area you control.
How do we do that?
You do usually it involves doing a job, because most of these things are taken by someone else. But you know, if you're operating in the 1,000 lives area and you have a good relationship with them, maybe you can do something for them, not get paid, but you get to take over a piece of their, get to run a piece of their territory. Or you can find someone you don't like and push them out and grab it for yourselves. There's also, and turf helps you build up your tier, because every piece of turf you have reduces the amount of rep you need to increase your tier. So that's why it says turf on the other side of the rep meter. You, as the assassins, you don't have access to a lot of turf, because assassins usually don't go around grabbing territory that much, but you have a lot of different types of contacts and other things you can build up. And these all go out. You have the lair in the middle, and you can go to the ones connected to the lair. So you have turf in 2 different directions. You can get a fixer that will help you get paid more for lower class targets, or you can get an envoy who will help you get paid more for high class targets.
I would love to get to a vice den.
Yeah, that's then you need some turf, then you can get a vice den. That will help you, get some free coin in downtime.
So the long-term project I had started to like contact the 1,000 Knives fixer. Can that be the fixer on this territory? And
oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so like I imagine I get done with the project, and then we've made contact with him, and then he asks us for a job, and then we get to click on him for future stuff, or
yeah, or it could just be part of the whole long-term project thing, depending on how we want to how that unfolds. I don't think it's supposed to be strictly tied to you do a job specifically to get that specific claim. So I think it's a bit more fluid. But you have to work a bit to get it. It's not just not something that just happens.
Yeah, I think we will have to prove to him that we're worth dealing with. So
yeah.
Cool.
So that's not for right now, probably, but it's something to think about for later. So if anyone has figured out a downtime action they want to do, we can do that now. Otherwise, we can take a quick break and everyone can maybe think about it for a couple of minutes while we're away. But if someone wants to do something right away, let's do it.
I'd like to, at some point, gather information to learn more about Hara the Witch and her crew. Maybe that could be through my cultist and weirdo socialite circle.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
asking questions. I don't have that many contacts for this sort of thing yet, because I'm certainly not going to Belgium.
Yeah, you probably can't trust what he would tell you. So that on my immediate thought is that you're using consort, but you could absolutely figure out something else.
I wonder if maybe instead I go onto the dark web and I look for as much info as I can, searching the HoloNet for wiped records and for weird, online coven activities and that sort of thing. And you study instead?
Absolutely.
Cool.
I think because here's the and this maybe this is just me. I'm not super fond of the Star Wars internet thing. I kind of like the Rogue One huge tower of hard drives you have to manually pick out. But that doesn't mean that there isn't information you can get by doing some tech stuff. But maybe it's more like you go to the right person and they have some information you can look at there, that sort of thing, more than like sitting at a console and looking things up. But does that make sense?
Yeah. Maybe can I go
And I mean,
and
you probably have a bunch of files already, that sort of thing. But I kind of like the physical aspect of it.
could I use Tinker and well, there might be a risk here, but I would love to, since Veldrin is a Force adept and is sort of like a guy in the know and who keeps tabs on Force users in town. That's why he's my rival, because he has beef with me because I mess with the sanctity of Force artifacts. Maybe I could go sneak into his workshop or his yoga studio and slice into his records.
Absolutely.
Cool. Is that low stakes enough that it is a fortune roll for study, or do you want?
Yeah. No. That works great.
Okay.
I mean, I'll
So,
just keep that on the shelf if you get a consequence for something else later. So
great. Awesome. I guess, do you want to add are there any devil's bargains you could think of, or is that not for gather info rolls?
I think that's just for action rolls.
That's my recollection too.
Sounds good. So I am gonna roll 2 dice. That's a 3. Shame. So
Yeah.
poor info.
So you wanted just general info on Hera the Witch.
Yes.
Cool. Well, he doesn't have a lot on her. She is not really friendly with any of the other Force users or that sort of thing. She's got a gang. Maybe it's more of a cult, kind of hard to tell, but they're hostile to nearly everyone. They've got their territory is, let's see, at the map. They're in the Warrens, and they have a fairly big territory there. They're doing protection, but they're also raiding factories near the foundry, stealing stuff, that sort of thing. He does have some reports that the weird stuff has happened when they have shown up. It's unclear if it's some sort of force powers or if it's weird tech or if it's something else. But there's like people flying and who don't have like obvious jetpacks or anything, and showing up where they shouldn't be able to get into, and people giving confusing reports afterwards, which could be like some sort of mind powers, but maybe it's chemicals. It's very unclear. But they're fairly isolated. They mostly stick to the Warrens and the pieces of the areas of the Foundry that are close to the Warrens.
Great.
Do you have any, or was there anything else more specific you were interested in?
Mostly just like her nature and like what, you know, you said they're generally hostile to most people. She seems like
Mhm.
a weird badass. So I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like shopping around for which organization we want to get involved in with this. Like, do we want to go
Yeah.
promise the Dark Brotherhood and then betray them? That sounds pretty fun. Would we actually want to work with this crew is the thing I was curious about. So that's
She's
pretty good.
She's definitely a hands-on on gang leader. She like if they're doing a raid, she's leading it personally. It's not like sending her guys out to do things.
I think I'm in love.
Yeah. That's good. That's good for the info. I think now we have a better idea of all of the factions that we're working with. I wish I rolled a little higher, but that's okay. I'm good to take a break unless people want to start with actions.
I'm good to take a break. What about you, Kai?
Yeah. Cool. So Morn got some basic information on Hera the Witch. Has anyone else figured out something they want to do? Or do I point to someone and ask very pointedly?
I have something.
Yeah, cool.
So the activity I want to do is acquire asset. The one that I want to acquire is where it says a cohort, expert, or gang. And what I want to do is hire a pair of characters, a pair of characters that will eventually become my alternate person in the gang. So I want to have them help us out on the Imperial mission and then gain the trust of the group and then eventually join the group. So there's this Jawa with a gun that's bigger than he is. And he has a partner, a squib, which is this blue furred fox thing. She's missing an eye. Morn, you can help her with that. And they are violent, and the Jawa just found that his entire tribe was slaughtered by Imperials. So he is biting at the to do some murder. So I was thinking that maybe it's one of those chance encounters. Like I'm sitting at the bar and I hear the two of them talking, conspiring, and you know I work my way over and like, hey, I hear you want to kill Imperials. I got the job for you. So, with the promise of more jobs. So I guess let's see. That becomes a role. And that role would probably be consort. And
consort works.
I don't know what I guess how powerful they are is how good I roll. That's weird. That okay, cool.
Yeah, but I mean that's just when they're NPCs. Then when you bring them in as a PC, then they're PC powerful, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it.
you have a contact or friend that could get you a die?
Well, if Admo wanted to be there and then spend a
Oh yes, I
Stress.
definitely want to help you.
okay.
Spending a stress. Awesome. Love it.
So what I do is I lean over to Adamo. I'm like, you see those Greedos over there? Those Greedos are friends we haven't shot yet.
Exactly.
You see those Greedos over there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they're what we need for this job with the stormtroopers. Let's go talk to
Little
them.
cannon fodder. Sounds good.
As long as they bring the cannon, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm into it.
All right. Okay, that gives me 2 dice. Haven't rolled yet today. Let's see what happens.
Can we start with 0 on acquire asset because we're tier 0?
Oh,
That would get you to
roll the
1.
cruise tier. So you're rolling 1 die instead of 2 dice. Keep the worst.
But you can spend coin to bump it up
True. Good point.
and rep.
Okay, so where I'm not rolling my consort then. How many
Yeah,
dice
yeah,
am I?
that's true.
How many dice am I rolling without anybody's help?
2 and
take
take the lowest.
worst. All right, and then with Edima's help, I'm rolling 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will obviously throw some money at these people. They haven't they don't have a place to stay right now. They just arrived on planet. So I'll spin a cred and give
You can
myself 2
see how
dice.
you can see how you roll first. You don't actually spend
Yeah,
credit
yeah,
for
yeah.
more dice. You
Oh.
can't add any more dice than that. You just roll and then you can bump up the result level with coin or credit.
Ah, perfecto. All right. Let's see what happens then. Well, that's a 1. I would like it to be better than that. So
Yeah, because 1, then they're tier -1 because they're 1 lower than you.
Yeah.
But it takes 2 creds to bump it up by 1 step.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's expensive.
Well,
And I mean, honestly, if you're going up against the stormtroopers, tier 0 or -1, kind of doesn't matter.
I think it's only 1 coin. It says 2 coin to raise it beyond critical. So you can spend coin to raise the result of the roll beyond critical by spending 2 coin per additional tier level added. But it says for any downtime, each.
Maybe I got that wrong.
Let me make sure.
Let me check the rules because I just
So I got
So,
the
let's-
Blades SRD here, and it says increase the level by 1 for each coin spent. I'll link the passage.
cool. I'm working from the PDF. Maybe this isn't. Maybe. Spending 2 coin per additional tier level.
So that one is for raising it beyond critical. So it's as far as I can tell, it's 1
Oh.
coin to increase within the feasible dice levels, and then once you want to spend coin to get it beyond what you could have possibly rolled, then you start having to spend 2 coin per result level.
Oh, okay. Ah, cool. And here it does say that you get an extra die on the roll if a friend or contact helps you.
yeah, I rolled that. That
Yeah, true. Right. But I
That
don't
may be
think-
NPC specifically.
I'm not sure if Etma had to spend any stress on that then.
Oh,
Yeah, I think technically a friend or a contact is an NPC. I don't know if we're supposed to actually be able to get that guy with
okay.
NPCs.
Yeah, that
helping
makes
us.
sense. That makes sense.
We can.
which means you're asking for Rosalind Kellis, your aunt, to help you.
That seems somewhat unlikely.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, you have Lydra, she could put in a word, or Freeze Mop is one of your contacts as well.
Try to play rules lawyer.
No, I want to play the game and see how it works the way it's written. Let me see here.
I will make a note that I should correct that in the rules summary.
Um, hmm. Well, I mean, I guess if I, after talking to them, introduced them to Lydra, then,
Yeah,
so
that
so
works.
that so while they're not, when they're not working on our job that we've asked them for, they can get jobs with her, I guess. I'm just trying to figure out why I'm so friendly to them all of a sudden. Like the player wants it to happen, but I just want to see if I can make the fiction make sense too.
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely know someone's done something weird with the downtime activities thing. Yeah, you added something. Yeah, cool, excellent.
Added that text. Sorry, I was trying to help.
Yeah. No, it's great. It was just I saw something disappeared.
Yeah, everything was moving. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, Kai, that makes perfect sense. You talk to them. Maybe they're not quite sure. You say, yeah, we got this job through this very reputable fixer. Introduce them to Lydra. She seems to be on the level, and that gives you some extra pull.
Okay, that gives me some cred. That gives me the die to roll, which I rolled and I got a 1. You're saying the difference between tier 0 and tier -1 against this will not necessarily make much of a difference.
No,
but-
I mean, but since it's only 1 cred to increase the tier, I mean, depending on how much you're willing to spend, you can bump them up to. It's 1 cred to get them to your tier, another cred to get them to tier 1, and another one to get them to tier 2, and then it starts costing 2 tiers per level. And but yeah, I mean, I think the way it works technically with it's not that much of a difference. I mean, if they have higher tier, they have a higher tier, and I would say that if it's tier -1 or 0 versus 5, that's kind of a rounding error, basically.
Okay.
But if they have to do something else, if you send them off to do something, then I think they roll their quality, which is based on their tier. So the things they will be better at doing things if they are higher tier.
How do you roll -1? Roll 3, take
Yeah.
the lowest.
Yeah, so they will be terrible. But if you bump them to level to tier 0, they'll still be rolling 2 dice and taking the lowest. So I mean, they'll be terrible either way if you don't bump them.
Let me throw out a possible, and I know dice already hit the table, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Force in the Dark, and everything seems to be a swap meet in Force in the Dark anyway. Does Kai need to acquire asset to like mechanically set up adding people to our gang? Because I know that's what Kai wants to do. So Kai, if you don't want to blow a basically downward spiral kind of downtime action, we could just, when it's time for us to recruit, we could do that too. We could just say, hey, here's the new person in my crew.
Absolutely. I think this would be a way that they would be mechanically meaningful before they become player characters, and that's absolutely
That's
way
a
to do
benefit.
it.
That's true. That's true.
And I mean, even if they're terrible when they're rolling things, you can still have them do stuff that's not really complicated, that doesn't require a lot of rolls, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, cool. Matt is down with the rules. That's excellent.
And also technically as a tier 0 crew, at our option, we can have 1 or 2 people in our gang already. We haven't established that fictionally, but by the rules, your gang can have a couple goons in it at tier 0. And we're also pretty close to tier 1, so they could just, because you do have just sort of incidental gang size when you grow. They're not technically cohorts or whatever, but it just means you have scale when you use your whole people. And a tier 0 gang can have a couple people. Assassins maybe not, because we're a tight crew, but we can do it however we wish.
Oh, cool. I thought that was just if you had a gang as a cohort. But excellent. But it makes perfect sense that you have it anyway.
So fictionally, we could have that scene still happen.
Yeah.
Just mechanically, we obviate, or we kind of elide that there was a die roll in it.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have, since they will be, it's really hard to make them meaningful when you're this low tier. I'm perfectly happy with saying that wasn't a downtime action. That was just you talking to them and fictionally establishing that now you have a couple of guys who are part of your crew or associated with your crew and kind of on the way. A couple of prospects, awesome. I guess.
Yeah. Cool. Then I will think about what downtime activities I want to do and let someone else do something.
Yeah. Do you want to do? Does anyone want to do any more information gathering on the on either of the jobs you're planning on doing?
Maybe for the first one, I want to pitch you this idea, Undish, on how to fictionally, how to mechanically present this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take up a whole job hunting down the sec that beat up Beast, my friend. Do we make it a project?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable, and it's probably not too hard. That sounds like a 4 o'clock, I think.
Okay.
I don't want to make that a big thing. And this is, and I mean, we could just say it's something you do, but I would say that if you're spending actual actions on it, then you'll get some bigger benefit out of it as well. We'll figure out what that could be.
Okay, that sounds good. Then I'd like to work on that. In long-term project, you roll a trait. Oh, so is the trait is insight, prowess, and resolve? Is that right?
Sorry, no, it's usually an act. Those are
an action.
Long-term project, you roll an action. So one of your skills, basically.
Okay. On the player kit that I have, it says trait, and I was really confused by that anyway. So I'll roll an action.
Yeah, I think trait can be like you're rolling your like your lifestyle or something else.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Actions and other things. If I understand correctly.
Doesn't make sense. Like, I think part 2 of playing is definitely skirmish related, but maybe prowl. I don't know. It could be hunt a target, gather information about location movement. Is that something? Okay.
Hunt works perfectly.
Okay, then I will hunt. And now I'm gonna pop over to the rules real quick. I'm gonna ask Beast to like help me out. We're like hunker down, looking over at sec offices, and guys coming out, and she's got the little monocular thing. He's passing it back with the Beast. They're eating some of that Mantel mix, and she offers up like a little bit of the granite slug, and Betty has and like throws it over the side and punches Edema in the arm, and then at one point the beast points out, or says, "Oh, that looks like the guy." Cool. So that was plus 1d if a friend is helping me. So I'm rolling 2d, and here comes 2d. My first roll of the game. Hunting. Sec. Got a 4. 4 is 2 ticks, and it's a 4-tick clock. So making my way. Bloop bloop.
Yeah, excellent. So, Bria, maybe you want to reduce your stress?
Yes, yes. So I would like, since we seem to have impressed Zori, I'd like to say that I go and do the drug stupor thing, but like at Zori's place, right?
Yeah.
And then I figure if I roll low on my stress reduction, it's because I'm trying to continue to impress her, and I'm just not really relaxing. I'm still stressed out. So I have to roll my lowest thingy, right? My lowest trait. I don't know what you call these things. Resolve is my attribute. So my lowest attribute is resolve. There's a 1 there. So we're back to rolling 1 die, and survey says a 3. So I reduced it by 3.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were the one who had 4 stress. Yeah, if you're at 7, you want a higher roll.
Yeah, I want to be as high as I could get.
Yeah. So I think Zori has a fairly nice pad for herself that she kind of uses to entertain favored guests, such as yourself. And she's got this, she's got that tape, and she's got similar like animal pattern furniture and that sort of thing. It's a very,
oh my God.
a very 60s, like the what do you call it? The lowered couch pit sort of thing, round, lots of shag carpeting and that sort of thing. And it's just, I think it's you and her and Jorgen, the guy you shadowed last time, and a couple of other people. Another couple of people from her gang, and 1 or 2 other guests as well, like yourself, people who have done work for them or who are like big buyers.
Okay, so kind of hobnobbing too.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to work that sort of thing into that, you definitely have an opportunity there.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of my actions.
Yeah, so you're having a great time with Zori, and she's still that she's always in character,
Sure.
She's not relaxing here, clearly, even though she's kind of laid back in the role she plays, but she's still playing the role, and she still has her mask on. The other guys in her gang, they take their masks off. This is like a private area, but she keeps hers on.
Okay.
So, Morn, do you have something figured out?
I have a couple ideas. I was thinking about some of my weirdo friends
Mhm.
and I was thinking Godro, the Chevin, is is interested in the business, and I was hoping to find a force sensitive sniffer or someone who could locate the artifact and maybe other force related things, so that I might sort of be able to build up my collection. So I was hoping to acquire sort of like a force metal detector, or some way of having him be able to sniff those things out for me and us. That might be a long-term project to invent a schematic for that, and then make it for him. So it might be like a connected 2 clock situation if I want that to be permanent, because the asset would only be temporary and it would probably be of poor quality. However, that might be something that I'd want to be done before we go on this job. So I don't know if I'd be able to get it done if I do it that way. So maybe this isn't the move. I guess it's good to know, like, would we be able to kidnap one of the Dark Lord's faithful and like find out where the artifact is? Are we going to try to go with Harrow the Witch? Like, there could be different things to do for either of these strategies. I don't have any healing to do. I don't have any stress to burn. So it's basically Project City. And that's...
You could definitely kidnap one of the Vader fanboys just as an information gathering thing.
That could get a little actiony and more. That would not be more in specialty. So he'd want some backup doing something like that.
Or you could just
I mean, I'm happy to be your backup. Totally happy to be backup.
you could do like acquire asset for the force detector thing, and that's like the prototype, and then you're working on the real thing as a long-term project.
Okay.
But that doesn't maybe help you as much for this particular
what do you
job.
think the clocks would look like for something like that? Because I might be able to burn this out.
I don't know. I guess it depends on kind of how you want it to work. I mean, how powerful you want it to be and how accurate and that sort of thing. Because this particular artifact, that's obviously, if it's connected to the power fluctuations, then that's then it's like a big beacon thing that you can fairly easily detect. But that doesn't necessarily, if you build something specifically to detect that sort of power level, then it won't help you find like what are they called? Not omnicrons, the crystal teacher thingies.
Yeah. Okay. We could go back and forth quickly with the crafting questions and determine, because I think I can just go for it. I've got abilities for this kind of thing. So the creation questions, the first, the GMS, what type of creation is it and what does it do? So I would like for it to be not so powerful that I could find things halfway across the planet, but powerful enough that Godro could strap this thing on and go move around the tunnels and start to pick things up for me and accumulate powerful force bits in my workshop so that I can start working on things that would have mystical properties.
Yeah, so you want it to be you want it to be accurate enough that you can find things. It's not just like a compass. It doesn't just tell you the direction. It gives you more information than that. Or is it like it gives you a direction and then you have to triangulate and figure out, yeah, it's probably there, and then go looking?
Yeah, I imagine it's like a metal detector with an expanded radius, like maybe 200, 300 meters or something like that. So he can just kind of like go around the city, and as he comes into a new neighborhood or just like city block, he'd be like, okay, it's here. And then be ideally with some accuracy, so it's not going to take him all day to do it. But you know, if he's got to work for his dime a little bit, then that's okay. I'll pay the man.
Yeah, cool. Let's see. And you had some ability for this, right?
So I am going to take Tinkerer, which says when you
Yeah.
invent or craft a creation with technical features, take +1 result level to your roll.
Excellent. And then the player asks, what's the minimum quality level of this item? And then I'm supposed to look at the magnitude. Let's see. I'll look in the PDF real quick. So if we're talking range, several blocks away, that's magnitude 4. Or if it's a large building, that's magnitude 5.
Oh.
So I think we're looking at something pretty high quality.
Yeah, I guess the only counterpoint I'd say is that it's not like shooting flames up to a block away. It's merely like
Yeah,
a
that's
sensor
true,
effect.
that's true.
So I'm totally happy for it to be high.
Let's look at the other questions. But right now, I think somewhere there 3, 4 maybe.
Yeah.
Just ballpark. But let's go through the rest and see where we land. So I hope the rest of you are okay with this taking a bit of time.
Yeah, hopefully this gets faster the more we do it.
Yeah.
I just hope you don't turn this thing on and it tells you that the treasure was inside of you all along.
I already knew that.
It's true. You've got the force.
Okay, so now I ask you, what rare, strange, or adverse aspect of this formula or design has kept it in obscurity, out of common usage? Because if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah. There are people actively trying to keep this kind of technology away from the common folk. This is probably military grade stuff. This is like electromagnetic field stuff. This is definitely messing with, dare I speak their name, the midichlorians and things like that. So just kidding, I take it back. But yeah, this is definitely some force stuff that is not safe for public use and not sanctioned.
It sounds like you might draw the attention of the resident inquisitor.
Oh God. Yeah, hope Godrone doesn't go to the wrong neighborhoods.
Yeah, so but I assume, yeah, because I think this would have, for this to make sense, I think this would have to be kind of an active sensor. It's not just like detecting force energy streaming out. It has to like it sends out a ping and then it gets information back, because
Yeah.
some of these force artifacts aren't like actively sending out anything, but if you hit them with something, they might activate and you can detect that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's why it's dangerous, because it means someone else, since it's an active sensor, someone can find you when you're using it.
Sounds like a drawback to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like the drawback.
Choose more if you
Yeah.
like.
Oh, force user blood. That's yeah, I think you probably have to have some level of force talent to use it, maybe. Not like you have to be an actual force user, But if you're, I mean, a droid couldn't do it, that sort of thing. You have to have some connection to the Force, even if it's just on a very weak and level.
Well, Godro is on track to be a master. So
Yeah, absolutely.
what are the clocks looking like? I guess we need an inventing clock and then a crafting clock.
Yeah. I think, I mean, inventing this sort of thing, to me, it sounds fairly complex. I would like to put it at an 8, maybe.
8 is fine. The book recommends 8 for inventing.
Yeah. And then constructing it, a 6 or an 8, I think.
Cool.
Does that make sense? I'm not sure what the I haven't read up on the invention rules.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or I guess to craft something, spend 1 downtime activity to make a tinker roll to determine the quality of the item you produce, the base quality. Oh, is it just 1 roll?
Oh, okay. That's not a project then.
Yeah, I guess it's just a crafting roll. The inventing is most of the work.
Okay, okay. So let's put that at an 8 clock to invent this thing, and then you make a roll to actually build it.
Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna make a tinker roll. I have rolled a 4. That's 2 ticks. And that bumps me up to a 6 actually, because I have the tinker special ability. So that will be 3 ticks.
Nice.
This 8 clock. So if I spend 1 coin, that makes it a crit, which bumps it up to 5 ticks, which would make the next roll quite possible if I score a 6.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll do it.
Throw some money at it.
I'll do it. I'll throw money at it. And I guess I'll just do my other action and see if I can, if I roll a 4 here, then I would finish the clock and then I could spend another coin to make the crafting roll and get it all done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm not going to tell you the odds.
Please don't. I think too much about them anyways. Here goes. That's a
Oh,
6.
nice. Natural 6.
Yeah. Which completes the clock. The design is done. I binged it out in one fevered session. I am truly obsessed at this point. And to prove it, I'm going to spend another cred to make a crafting roll to prepare this creation for Godro. So this is going to determine the quality level of the item I produce. The base quality level is equal to the cruise tier modified by the results of the roll. So it is a tinker roll. So the minimum quality level is I'm happy for it to be a 3 if it has slightly shorter range, because 4 is going to cost me a lot of money.
Yeah. Let's go for 3.
Cool. Oh God, this is going to cost me maybe a lot of money. Okay, so could I get help from my friend Jewel, who is an organ dealer, because this is a biological modification. Gosh, I should have picked a different friend. It's hard to make Jewel useful. Yeah, maybe this. The reason.
An organ dealer probably picks up some implants and that sort of thing as well. And if you have like it was totally a Force user guy who had this thing. Still got some blood in it. I'm sure it's useful.
Yeah. I'm hoping Jewel helps me with the biotech parts of things. So maybe this is like a little bit of a modification for Godro. Like it's not simply just like a force detecting thing. It's like, oh, you now have a cybernetic schnoz. What do we think about that?
Almost all his body. So
So why not make a good thing even better? Can I get an extra die for that?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Cool. So the result of sorry, this is taking so long, everybody. The base quality level is equal to your cruise tier, modified by the result of the roll. See the results on the next page. Where's the next page? Oh, crafting roll. I see. Okay, so critical is tier +2, 6 is tier +1. So I'm probably going to need to spend all my money, but let's see what I can squeeze in here. I do have the tinkerer ability, so let's do it. That's a 4 modified up to a 6 by my tinkerer ability. So the base tier is 1, and I'll spend my last cred and a cred from the cruise stash to make it tier 3. And not tell the crew. How's that? How's that for an XP trigger for obsessed?
yeah, sounds like it. You're spending all your money and all your time modifying your cultist friend to be able to detect force artifacts.
It's for the job, you guys. He's going to be a cohort. It's for the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh god, that was so I just I just took so much time and cruise money to make that thing. I feel kind of bad, but it's done and my downtime actions are done. So please.
Yep. How is everyone doing on time? We got 8 minutes until our nominal stopping time.
I'm good, and I'm cool with just finishing off the clock. Speaking of obsessed, Adam, I just wants to take this sex person down, so I'm happy to just do that. Cool.
I
So
want to gather information on these stormtroopers.
Yeah, cool. Let's do Etomas deal with the street sec guy.
That sucks. I rolled a 3, which means I get
skirmish thing.
1 tick. Oh, do you think skirmishes would work here?
Yeah, absolutely.
well, then
now
we
you
have
know who
one
the
more-
guy is. You just need
one more die then. Because I rolled a 3 and a 3. So if I'm doing skirmish and I'm getting help, then I have a 3rd die coming in, and it's a 2. All right, so that's the worst. I get 1 tick out of it. I'm up to 3, and I will burn a cred of my own to push that up to a 4 to finish it out. Yeah.
So the beast points out the guy, and you can just follow him along. Like he's ending his shift. You can just follow him along, find a suitable alley to drag him into, and do the thing, if that's what you want.
That's exactly what I want. And it's not a thing where she just kills the guy. It's not I'm gonna make it last, or it's just zip done. Maybe I put him in some kind of slightly embarrassing position, so maybe people think it was not a full-on hit, but a lover gone wrong. But that's about it.
Yeah, nice. So Bria, you wanted to gather some information.
Yeah, I imagine that Bria was rather disturbed by the troops that were marching around and asking questions, and so she's going to spend time, like, hood over her head, and just following and watching and studying them, trying to discern whatever she can about them. I guess that if I had to ask a question, the question would be, oh, there's a list on character sheet. Let me do that. Character sheet list. Or there
Yeah,
was
that's one of the
one.
things I didn't transfer over. Maybe I should, but I think there's.
Okay.
But those are just suggestions. I think they're different for different characters, actually.
Oh, okay. I want to try to figure out like who's calling the shots here, like who's called these people in, or who's the field commander. Like I want to lock in on someone in charge. Yeah. So I have a die and study. And I guess this is the gather information roll. So this is just a fortune roll. So I will roll my one die and study the stormtroopers. And I get a 6.
Oh, nice.
What are the odds?
1 in 6, but
12%.
That's the joke.
Sorry. Altruist taste sometimes. Yeah, it's clear that there's some friction between the stormtroopers and the street sec people. The stormtroopers, they don't like this. They don't want to do like street patrols. That's not their thing. And you can like hang around in some places when you hear the troopers talking to each other, and there it seems, or actually what you definitely hear is that the troopers or the garrison has been contacted by StreetSec because they need help keeping order in the foundry. Obviously, I mean, the police station got blown up, and there was that big splashy thing. There's couriers being killed in the streets, and there's a lot of gang activity, obviously. So yeah, and the garrison commander, who I have named but don't remember the name of, Captain Tarek. He has accepted this. He sent out some patrols, but you also hear them talking about, yeah, at least we don't have to do the sewer detail. I mean, those guys, that's gotta really suck.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that's. You're gonna hear a name. I don't have a name right here, right now. Sure. But you're going to hear the name of the squad leader for the sewer detail. I need to make it out.
Cool.
Do you have any follow-ups? Anything else you want to know related to that? Actually, you also hear where they're roughly where they are based, the sewer detail. Okay. They're operating from a building in SecSec, but very close to the foundry. They're not operating out of the garrison. They've been stationed somewhere else.
Do I know how many people are on sewer detail?
Sorry, how many?
Yeah,
it's a squad of 5, a squad leader and 4 troopers.
Got it. Awesome. Notes taken. Excellent. Yeah, that's all I needed. That is all I needed.
Cool. Yeah, that's not a downtime action. So you still have 1 downtime action.
Oh, gather information isn't a downtime action. Right. So I played a game where it was, and it's stuck in my head.
Yeah. You could do another recover stress if you want.
Yeah. I bring back stuff from Zori Bliss's, and I'm like, hey, Edema, let's light it up. So
Hell yes. Let's do it.
oh, we go to the docks, and we watch the ships coming in and going out.
Oh, you're playing to a weak spot. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I love it. And I think we're just blazed and
Yeah.
watching the ships go by, and Edema's eyes are just a little starry. It's your downtime action, so I'm not really stressed. I'm just getting high. But I think
Right.
there's a quiet moment when Edema says, "So, tell me about your kid." I know we're over time, but like I totally want that question.
So maybe we'll start the next section with me answering that.
Yes.
But
Excellent.
also, when I roll this die, if it's a 5 or a 6, then I fucked up. So let's see what happens.
Oh, and to be clear, Rich, if you spend a cred, you can also recover stress because you can spend a cred to get an extra downtime action.
Oh, that's true. But I'm only at 4 stress, and I'm kind of terrified because I keep rolling terribly high on those. So I think I'll just live with my stress.
Yeah,
I
that's
rolled a
fine.
1. I rolled a 1. So I did, not as helpful as I wanted it to be, but it didn't roll over, so that's good.
It's because I asked that question.
Right? Like I was about to get like missing from the game for 2 weeks, Blaze, and you're just like asking these questions. I'm like, well, maybe not. Awesome.
Cool.
I'm done.
Yep. So let's do XP because that's per session and not per job. So we still get to do that. Let's go character keeper order. So Etma first. Oh, I forgot to say the beast. She's after you've done the thing. Actually, do you bring her with you, or I mean, she points out the guy. Do you grab him alone? Is she part of it? How do you do that?
It's totally up to her. If she expresses any interest in the murder I 100% am going to be committing, she can watch. But I don't imagine that she's down for that. She may not even approve. Edema's doing it out of like, this is what I do for my friends.
Yeah. I think she like stands watch at the mouth of the alley. You grab the guy, drag him in, and she like just checks to make sure nobody's interrupting you. And then she's I think she's a little freaked out that you're this just cold-blooded killer. But she's also grateful for you standing up for her. For not a lot of people will do that. So will like put themselves on the line for her.
Of course, we're comrades.
Yeah. Cool. XP. Did you address a challenge with violence or coercion? Yeah, I think so. You kill the guy.
Yeah,
You violently ate that plate of pancakes.
Oh dear Lord, and the granite slug. I violently ate that and had to get a new tooth. No, it's all good.
It was violent on the other direction.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm into that. That sounds one. Express beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I mean, I feel like
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Struggle with issues from vice or trauma. I don't know.
Not really.
No, I don't think so. All right, there we go.
Yep.
Kind of like
Good
two
idea.
for heritage and background. Like we got that last scene, and we had so much detail from your room and the way you were at home, and
Yeah.
how you ate all the way you ate so much food and the kind of food you ate at IHOP, and just felt like there was a lot of characterization in the session. So
Yep.
I will not object to that.
Okay,
Take
I'll
another
take
one.
it. Thank you, Matt.
Okay, Bria is next.
I didn't roll any desperate actions. So the only challenge that I did with stealth was to follow the stormtroopers
Mhm.
with my hood up and stuff like that.
Works
Yeah,
for
that
me.
works. That works.
Okay. Beliefs drives heritage or background. So I decided that I was not going to touch the slug, not because I'm not adventurous, but because I'm a noble, and that just felt beneath me. And
I think
No.
you're something like realizing at the IHOF that you just assumed you were leadership role was also pretty
Sure.
noble acting.
sure.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
And
Did I
taking
start?
Edema to see the ships too?
Yeah.
I think just two in there, I would say.
Nice.
So Rich and I have decided off camera that Bria and Edmund are item now. So
Edema will probably cheat on Bria very soon.
oh, good. That would be a fight. That's a fight I want to see. Oh, but
Okay.
wait until I'm done with my dueling instruction.
Okay, sure, no problem.
I'll take my glove and I'll slap you in the face. I challenge you to a duel.
Oh, I want to watch that duel.
Oh, I'm gonna die. And there were no issues from my vice or traumas. I didn't overindulge. As a matter of fact, I met new people because of my vice, so it's the opposite. So that's 3 XP as best as I can tell. Okay.
Excellent. And Morn.
Well, I addressed the challenge of making breakfast with my technical skill. Kidding.
It should have been a desperate roll.
Should have been a desperate roll to eat it. There are 3 resistance rolls in that bite that you took. Yeah, I think probably just one for my obsessive binge of trying to solve the problem of locating the artifact for our next job.
For sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
Kind of feel like, address the challenge with technical skill or mayhem and struggle with issues from your vice or trauma. I kind of feel like all you did there should be worth more than 2 XP, maybe. Like it's a 3 total, or am I
Like 2 for one and 1 for the other kind of deal?
Yeah. Like
So my only hesitation is
1.5 for each. Does that seem, or am I overestimating it, the importance?
Well, so the amount of XP that you get is per number of times. Well, it's sort of per number of times that they happen, but I think John Harper I've watched him run a whole game of it, and he would often do it just like based on the significance of the thing that happened. I don't know. I would be okay with it too. I think I also express some beliefs, drives, and heritage and background. So
Yeah.
there might be like a few in there as well. This is a pretty downtime and character heavy scene. What were you gonna say, Rich?
No, I'm with this.
I will never say no to XP. when the GM wants to hand me some extra.
I kind of feel like it's worth a little extra the way you spent all your creds and that sort of thing.
I wonder if that the extra there will come from when someone actually causes beef or problems for me, because all I really did was spend the money, and I did struggle with it a little bit, but I have a feeling I might struggle more with that in a future session.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I would be down for the extra XP if we all agree that the crew finds out, because I think Adam is gonna have.
Oh yeah,
I'm interested in that. I think that's what the Whisper and the Leech are for, is to spend the crew's money and then have the crew give them shit for it. So I hope that was okay. By the way, everybody,
Oh, Rich is fine with it. Edema is not fine with it.
Great. I love that.
So is that?
Ooh.
I think that's a 4 total then.
I would like that. I think I got to express a lot more of Morn's character today, so I think there's some hanging out in there. So I would happily take 4 XP.
I think that sounds fair.
Yeah, I think that that seems fair considering you got yourself into some trouble.
Thank you. Crew XP.
Crexby.
XP.
Crew
XP.
XP.
Right. Yes, sorry. Did you execute? You did not execute any kind of operation. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Yeah, I think so.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely did. I think it's only 1 for that, or is it 2? What do you think?
We've been snooping, so it's been pretty low-key contending, but
But I feel like you've been doing it in multiple ways. You've been shadowing stormtroopers. Rich went after the street sec guy. That's also above your station, actually.
That's
so,
true. Oh my, I can come back.
I think
Yay.
I think it's worth to.
Okay.
sweet.
You're marking these, right? Anders?
Yeah, I'm counting them. I'll mark them right away.
Okay, cool. You don't have to mark them right away. I didn't want it to listen.
No, it's
Miss
it's
out.
good that you're. I'm marking rep instead, which is wrong. To bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. I googled a bit how people run this with multiple reputations, and it seems most are you can have multiple reputations, but maybe not any number of them. Like you have to maintain them. If you stop doing some things, they'll peter out. And it's just, I mean, it doesn't have any game mechanics beyond being an XP trigger. So it's kind of a soft thing anyway.
Cool.
But I don't think you did anything there really, unless someone wants to argue that you pushed your cruise rep somehow.
Well, I was very professional with Borak. I even shook his hand.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
And recruiting 2 new people and
Yeah.
sort of like showing them our
You're doing
agent.
so much crew stuff, Kai.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I think that counts. That's another crew. That's an XP, which fills your track. And then for the last one, express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
500 XP.
IHOF. We saw the hideout. We saw the crew at sort of a
Yeah.
casual situation.
We went to the
Um,
docks. We got asked personal questions. Like
Mhm.
it was all.
I
all
think
there.
that's a double for that one.
Feels
we got-
right.
we got a good
Especially
look
a
at-
downtime only session
Yeah.
for sure.
So that means you fill up the track and you get 2. You have 2 left over. So you can take 1 special ability or 2 upgrades.
So we could take those 2 as a cohort now if we want them to have a specialty. Otherwise, they're just like gang members. They're just numbers basically. But if
Mhm.
Kai, if you want those 2 to be killers or whatever, or goons, thugs, whatever we want, that's on the table.
I'd like that. I really yeah. I want them if they can be available in the story. I'd like them to have some mechanical impact. So if
Mhm.
this is giving them mechanical impact, that's what I would like to do.
Hot. I'm into it. We could do that.
So and there, because I'm not sure if I understood it correctly. Are they 2 are they 2 sentient beings, or is it a Jawa and it's like animal companion?
They're two sentient beings.
2 sentient beings.
But I
Yeah.
think they're basically one character. If that
Yeah,
makes
cool.
sense.
Because they can either be a gang, and a gang of 2 is like the size of a gang at your tier, or they can be an expert, which is one individual character. But if these are like a very tight couple, I'm fine with saying that they're like one character.
Yeah.
I like expert, unless we want to
Yes.
add to that crew. Unless you want that crew to potentially grow, then they could become a gang or
No, let's do expert. Let's do expert.
cool.
Cool.
So is there a list of expertises, or is it just the skills, or?
I think expertise is you get to decide. You get to make up for yourself. Let me see.
Yeah, the chat has some or the rules have some examples, but it said etc. You can kind of make it whatever you want.
I see. I was imagining them being really good at wrecking, capital W wrecking things.
Mhm.
Ooh, my new friends.
Yeah. Because that's how they played out in the other game that they were in. In my opinion. So
Are they like soldiers? Kind of like
so
demolitionists, maybe?
yeah, there you go. That's the word, demolitionist. The Jawa likes to make things go boom. And the squib basically talks for him to most people.
Cool.
And he knows a little bit of he knows all of common, but he refuses to speak most of it. So it's up to the squib to interpret the Jawa, and it's just a fun little couple in my mind.
So you have an expert demolitionist.
So I do really like that. Morn is definitely 2 dice in rec, so it is something that we're capable of, and I like that he does that. But I think like having a cohort that also that does that in a different way is great too. Like Morn, I think probably does more like high tech wrecking maybe, and I'm mostly just thinking if they have like sort of a slightly broader specialty, then they can do more things in that space. But I think
they're also they're both about what is it 1 meter tall, so they're very good at getting into spaces that other people can't.
Tunnel rats.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should have a gun bigger than themselves, right?
Yeah, some sort of, what was it, TR-50 or something like that?
Yeah, it's like this crazy repeating blaster thing. That has its own sound effect on Wikipedia. If you've seen Rogue One, it's the one that the guy with the giant mouth has mounted in one of the ships, and he's firing it and screaming happily. It's
cool.
But it's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. So their quality is equal to your tier +1. So they are quality 1.
That's a lot better than what we were doing before. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad we took a step back and worked through that. That's cool.
So I'm not sure how this sheet record. There are tick boxes for quality, but they only go up to 4. I don't know. I tick a box so we remember that they're quality 1, I guess.
Do we want to figure out their edges and flaws right now?
Oh, wow. Is there a list?
They have you get 1 or 2 edges and an equal number of flaws. Edges are fearsome, independent, loyal, and tenacious. Fearsome, then they are terrifying in aspect and reputation. Independent, they can be trusted to make good decisions and act on their own initiative in the absence of direct orders. Loyal, can't be bribed or turned against you. Tenacious, won't be deterred from a task.
Well, I think they're loyal, but I think they're also savage.
Nice.
Sounds good.
It feels like the Yanush I knew. Yep.
I'm looking at the one that says he can make good decisions and act on his own initiative. He can act on his own initiative. I just don't know if he makes good decisions. So I didn't take independent because I didn't think he was.
By coupling those two terms together, he was disqualified.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. And then I can stack them up whenever I need to if I switch over to. That's a lot of fun.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Our gang grows.
Yeah, very
Another
cool.
2 more daggers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's all the mechanical stuff. Do you want to do some stars and wishes, or does someone have to run off?
I'm good today.
I could do stars and wishes.
Stars
You like
and
to-
wishes.
You like to do that off cam, right? Or I can't remember.
Yeah, let's do it off camera.
Okay, cool.
So bye everyone.